Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. MLB All-Star $5 Dinger Tuesday, Dan.
All of the above. It is $5 Tuesday. It is Dinger Tuesday, which, come on, what are we doing? How is the home run derby not on Dinger Tuesday? What are we doing here, guys? But don't worry, we got a abbreviated show here for you. But we haven't forgot that, of course, the World Cup semifinals are today. We have Jesse Schule coming on to break down both games for you. That France and Spain one that goes at 3 o'clock today, and of course the England and Argentina game going tomorrow. It'll be Andy and I with you the rest of the way. We'll talk a little bit of this All-Star game. If you are betting the All-Star game, we'll try and arm you with at least what we think should have some sprinkles coming your way. I don't even know how much of the All-Star game I'm even going to watch, to be honest with you, Andy. All-Star games don't get me going. I don't know about you, but just not something that I typically get locked to my TV to watch. What say you?
I love watching the home run derby. I love the format last night compared to the super quick timer. I like that format. I think it's goated. It was super watchable. The timing was really good. Storylines were really good. And honestly, a home run derby in Philly probably needs to happen every year. I know it's logistically impossible, but that crowd was just absolutely fantastic. It was like another member of the home run derby. Everybody brought it last night. My only complaint was we have got to fix the announcing on a home run derby. It sounds like a rap concert. It's really bad, but
it's bad.
Overall, this is not a pun intended, but I don't know how else to say it. It was a home run. I thought they nailed it. I thought the home run derby was fantastic, and I'm not going to watch a second of the All-Star game tonight.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they absolutely nailed it. I thought the drama that ends up happening, I mean, obviously I was pulling for Kyle Schwarber as a Philly guy, but couldn't have asked for a better way for it to end than Jordan Walker ripping off 6 straight homers. However, I will say they switched the magenta ball out that everyone was having trouble hitting with white balls during his run. He hit a magenta and then a white, a magenta and a white. So I'm just saying, when there's $1 million up for grabs, a little bit of dirty play there, not using the magenta balls that everyone struggled with. But I digress. We did have some folks pick Jordan Walker as the winner. However, you guys didn't follow the rules. We said comment who you think is going to win with your WagerTalk username. So no winner, even though we had 2 people call their shot on Walker. Well done. Well done indeed. All right, Andy, we're already 3 minutes into the show, and we don't have a WagerTalk Today play of the day. We have to rectify that. And the pickings are so slim, we're going to the weekend here. Andy, let's go.
Listen, we try and give you what we did give a winner last night. That was an easy over on the Sparks. I'm going to go to Alberto Montez to beat Tommy McMillan. Tommy McMillan was on Contender Series. He's a very wild fighter. He beat a guy who was undersized and gassed in the 3rd round. Dana White loves him because he's perfect for UFC. He goes out, he gets into wars. He's going to get knocked out or he's going to knock somebody out. He's just a wild fighter. He's kind of polarizing to look at. And I just don't think he's that good. They gave him they gave him a guy that was so bad that he got cut from UFC, but then they brought him back so Tommy McMillan could beat him. Alberto Montez is going to be a touch smaller than Tommy McMillan, but he's just a lot more controlled. He's just a lot more fluid. He's got a submission game. Really, all he has to do is survive the first probably 3 to 4 minutes, and then the professionalism of Montez is going to step up. And McMillan is going to throw a million punches. He's going to get himself tired. Montez just needs to play good defense, and it's him for the pickings. The line is moving on McMillan. I think it's going to keep moving on McMillan just because he is kind of a fan favorite, but we saw how the fan favorite lasted in the Conor McGregor fight. I got Alberto Montez to win, but you can log it in now or you can wait a couple days just to see what the line is. But Tommy McMillan is a fade for me.
Yeah, I'm all in on it. You say UFC now. We're finally running well. Let's get a UFC run going. Let's start with a free play right here. And like Andy said, we cashed in another one for you guys right here at the top of the show, giving out these free plays right out of the gate. That brings us to 39-24. Hit that like button and subscribe. Come on, guys. Let's go now. Real quick, we got Jesse coming on. We're going to talk both of the World Cup games. But, Andy, since that is this weekend, I'll give an honorary WagerTalk Today play of the day, and we'll see if Jesse agrees with it or not. What I bet in this game, I know that we're seeing everybody's high on France. Spain beat them in Euros. I know all of that. That is all true. However, this is France's tournament to lose. Now, do they get it in regulation like they have been able to do? That I'm not so sure about, Andy. So the way that I attack this, I like the France side, but I also think the draw is in play here. This could be a little bit cagier. However, Spain's only hope in this game, they're great with possession, sure, but their only hope is to score first. And if they score first, I really like our chances on getting both teams to score. So I'm pairing France double chance, so essentially France plus the half a goal in 90 minutes with both teams to score for the entirety of the match, including extra time. That gets us a minus 124, Andy. That's my honorary play of the day. A little same game parlay, France double chance, and both teams to score in this France and Spain game.
All right. There's a video up right now for France and Spain for the same game parlay that I did. And later today, the England game will go up. But we got to bring in Jesse here, who's been seeing World Cup really, really well. First off, congratulations, Jesse. Really, really nice winning percentage there. It's at 72.1% winning percentage. That's really, really impressive. Congratulations, man. How are you?
Doing fine. I'm a year older than I was when I was on the show last week. That's the big news. But regarding that winning percentage, would it blow your mind if I told you that 2022 in Qatar, the winning percentage was 71%? So this is kind of what we do, Andy.
Pretty consistent. Did I see a picture of a picanha on your social media?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll let you and Dan talk World Cup. I'll probably come in here at the end. But Jesse, if you don't follow Jesse on social media, go on X because he put up a absolutely incredible picture of a beautiful steak that he cooked. So if you like food porn, that's a really, really good one, Jesse.
That's the only stuff that he posts is insanely delicious looking food. And don't even try and press this guy on a charcuterie board. He makes some of the best in the business. All right, Jesse, let's I'm wondering, do you kind of agree with me on how I see this game shaking out? I think it could be cagey, yes, in the fact that I don't think this is going to explode into a 5-4 score line that we saw the last time these teams faced off, but France has a little potential revenge with that Euro going. Obviously, I don't even think you have to factor that in because France has been in the driver's seat. Both of these teams has amassed a total of 3 goals allowed in this tournament, combined between the two of them. So France, Spain, you're the fade god, Jesse. How do we fade either of these teams?
Well, Dan, I'm fading everybody today. And I will say that you alluded to some shenanigans in the home run derby. I don't know. You didn't use the word corruption, but I think you were suggesting there was some dirty dealings going on there. Well, FIFA says, hold my beer. We got the top 4 ranked teams fighting for the World Cup in the semifinals. Man, I wonder if there's any financial benefit to the top 4 teams making it to the semis. Man, you couldn't have scripted it any better. And I think a lot of people are seeing this. I saw the chat. A lot of people are saying France, and there is a bit of a feeling that this is destined to be a rematch of the 2022 final between France and Argentina. I will say France is the favorite, and they deserve to be the favorite. I can't argue with anybody in the chat who's saying take France. If I was going to bet a side here, I would look at France, draw no bet, or to advance. I came on this show last week and I told you the best way to lose money betting on football is the 3-way money line. And I took Switzerland plus a half in their match versus Colombia. Well, we all know what happened there. That one went to extra time. Last Saturday, we saw both quarterfinal matches go to extra time. And I did tell you that 27% of all World Cup matches since 2006, the last 20 years, have ended in a draw after 90 minutes of play. And you have to ask yourself, is there a higher chance of a draw in a match between the number 1 ranked team and the number 3 ranked team than, say, France taking on Austria, or a team that's not even ranked in the top 50? Because to me, this game has draw written all over it. Both semis have draw written all over them. And as far as the fixes in for France and Argentina in the final, there's been a lot of talk about it online, on Twitter, on social media. And a reporter tried to set up the France manager, Didier Deschamps, in a press conference a few days back. And he asked them, he was asked to comment on the controversy surrounding Argentina. And he gave a very, very astute answer. He said, "It just seems that Argentina has no bad luck when it comes to the referees." And being Canadian, and the fact that Didier Deschamps is French, I am able to translate into English because, Canada's second language is French. What he's saying there is every 50-50 call goes to Argentina. And a lot of Argentina fans will say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, I mean, sure. But anyways, I do think France is the favorite for a reason. If I was betting a side, it would be France. But I think the value is going to be with the draw. And I got to mention, Spain, they haven't looked quite as flashy as, say, the reigning European champions. Lamine Yamal came in a bit banged up, and Nico Williams hasn't been 100%. But Williams returned for the last match. He's supposed to be 100% ready to go for this one. Yamal is, the chances of him having his best game of the tournament right here against France, I don't think that's something that you can rule out. I certainly don't want to write off Spain here either. So, the draw is the way to fly for me. Plus 225 was the best number I could see out there.
Yeah, and that price is still out there, and a great price at that, Jesse, in a game that figures to be tight. And as we've seen, these have been super competitive. I mean, this is what you want in the quarterfinals. What you want in the semifinals is games that likely could be sent to extras. Now, hopefully they get there by scoring a couple goals for my sake with that both teams score, but nevertheless, hopefully they get there regardless. Jesse, before we talk this other game, I found the photo. Look at this, folks. If you're not following Jesse Schule, at Jesse Schule, same way that it's spelled here right on your screen. This is insane. This looks like restaurant quality stuff, Jesse, that you're just throwing down in your kitchen.
Picanha smoked on the a whole picanha smoked on the Weber for 2.5 hours. I got to tell you, insane flavor, and it just melts in your mouth. Yeah,
I mean, this is next level stuff. I not only want to be on a show with Jesse, I want to hang out with Jesse and digest the meats alongside him. It's a bit of a trip, though.
As much as Derrick Henry, you got to eat well.
That's so true, Jesse. Hey, before we talk Argentina and England, let folks know what you have rocking. I mean, we popped it up here on the screen. Johnny put it in the chat here. It speaks for itself. Jesse said last year, right around 71% winning percentage, or 4 years ago, excuse me, and he's back doing it again. This is Jesse World Cup Schule. What do you got rocking over your page, wt.buzz/JS?
Well, I do have a $5 play on this, or the match we just spoke about, Spain and France. And I've got a 5% play available for Argentina versus England. I can guarantee you that it won't be on the three-way money line because, as I said, I just don't roll that way. I'm not going to get into the specifics. You're going to have to go to the site and check that out. But World Cup. How about CFL? Number one profit with CFL, I think, since 2021. 5 straight winning seasons with CFL. I had a couple winners last week. So at this time of year, with baseball and just a bit of soccer and a bit of CFL, maybe WNBA, I keep everybody busy and I keep everybody happy.
Yeah, and this is, again, like everyone talks about it. Andy and I bring it up all the time, the dog days of summer this, the dog days of summer that. Like, no, this is a chance for you to build your bankroll before you bet way too much come NFL season, because you're gonna do that. You know what I mean? So this is a time over the summer that you can really get yourself ready to go and be ready for NFL season. And Jesse, we'll be sad to see the World Cup go. We still at least have this match, the championship match, and then a third place match as well that we can still wager on. Let's do Argentina and England, because I said I give France the edge in that first match. In this one, I want to believe in England, but all of the history has told me not to believe in England. Plus, we're talking about our friend Lino named Argentina. FIFA has been all in on Argentina here. I think England, for all their shortcomings this tournament, has been the better team out of these two teams. Argentina's continually played with their food. However, I don't want to back either of these teams. So that's why I'm glad the Fade God is here, because you can find a way to fade both of them. What are we doing?
You know, Dan, it was about a month ago that I was on this show, and I told everybody that Argentina will not repeat as champions. This team isn't quite the team they were 4 years ago. Lionel Messi is past his prime, and he no longer plays top-flight football. I never said Messi was washed, Dan. You said that. But, man, did people laugh at me for that take. So do you think that I'm going to backpedal, or do you think I'm going to double down? You know the answer. I'm going to double down. Argentina, their path to the semis has been marred with controversy. I saw somebody in the chat say that even my 10-year-old can see the corruption at play here. And, I think it's a bit beneath me to talk about conspiracy theories, Andy, to tell you the truth. So I will quote some wiser men. How about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who said, Argentina always seems to be favored by FIFA. They've had 8 penalties in their last 12 World Cup matches, and it was disgraceful that Egypt's goal was disallowed in that last match. I don't know if you guys watched that Egypt match, but Egypt had a disallowed goal for a very controversial foul back in the play. Argentina comes back, scores the exact same goal, and theirs counted. I agree with Dan. I think England's the better team. You look at what England did at the Azteca in Mexico against Mexico. You look at what they did against Croatia. You look at the form of Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. If I'm betting the side, it's got to be England. But if I'm not paying attention to the way these games have been officiated and the way things have played out and the way it just appears like Argentina is on a collision course with France for the rematch, that scares me off of betting England. So I'm going to take the draw in this match too. We're taking the draw in both semifinals. We're hoping to at least get a split and walk away with some more profit. For those of you that were laughing at me for my take on Argentina a month ago, you know who's really laughing? The guy who bought my subscription for the World Cup before the tournament started, and now he's got himself a new boat for the summer.
Yeah, he's laughing for other reasons, that's for sure. So Jesse comes on, Andy, and some way, somehow, he has 4 teams to talk about, and he fades all of them. This is the Fade Reaper, as Carm dropped in the chat, the Fade Reaper going from door to door. So,
hey, Jesse, real quick, Dan, I would jump in here. Jesse, we talked about our 3 favorite, hilarious, awful calls. This one, get your take. We had nominated the reverse mistaken identity yellow card that got somebody thrown out of the game. We had the Egypt one that was an all-timer, and then we had when the English defender smashed into the goalie and they called the foul on Norway and then yellow carded the guy on Norway for complaining about it. What was your favorite? Was it the Egypt?
I can't really comment on anything that happened in England, Norway, because I was in a hole-in-the-wall pub with a maximum capacity of about 20 people, and there was at least 100 people crammed in there. You couldn't hear any of the volume. All you could hear is English people singing Wonderwall and Norwegian people side-eyeing me. It was, I got to say, it was the experience of a lifetime, but nobody in the pub that I was in even knew that the ball hit that wire. There was any controversy. Everybody was oblivious to any of that, and really oblivious to most of what was going on.
I think it was the Egypt one. I've never seen them let players dribble the ball down the field, score a goal, and then come back and say no goal. Somebody stepped on a toe. So
well, I'd have to vote for the Egypt one just because that's the one that we talk about in that game. But there was, I think Egypt had a legitimate 6 complaints in that game, very serious complaints. I really feel for Egypt. And Iran. I mean, you didn't mention anything with Iran. I mean, I hate to be the pro Iran guy, but they didn't really get a fair shake.
Just because we made them go stay in a different country after every game doesn't mean they didn't get a fair shake. It's amazing it's amazing they get away with that stuff, Dan.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, man.
And you didn't even bring up the rescinded red card. I mean, you're slacking today.
Yeah, well, we got to gloss over it. You know what I mean? We don't want Infantino to be giving a call to the show, and saying, "Hey, how dare you talk about my corruption? How dare you?" It was funny because the other night I was like just thumbing through Netflix. It was one of the lighter ones, and they still have up there the documentary about when FIFA got literally caught in a corruption scheme before. That documentary is still on Netflix. So history.
Which time, Dan?
Yeah, exactly. Which time?
I mean, I believe there's like a half a dozen high-profile historical cases of FIFA getting caught.
It's like that quote. It's like, you never know you're in the good old days while you're in the good old days. You never know you're in a FIFA corruption scheme while you're in a FIFA corruption scheme. So all joking aside, though, hey, whether there's been some favoritism or not, Jesse, the favorite has been riding with you and your plays. 72%, like Jesse said, he's got a best bet up now. It is, of course, $5 Tuesday. So Jesse, one more time on the way out, remind them what they'll find over at your page, because even though soccer's ending, doesn't mean that you're done cashing tickets for your clients.
Yeah, we've had 4 straight top 3 finishes in Major League Baseball. As I said, number 1 in profit in the CFL since 2021, hitting 60% against the spread during that span. I believe it's 80 units of profit. Not bad for the poor man's pigskin. I'll continue to play soccer. I am a top 3 soccer handicapper all time on WagerTalk. So throughout the summer, with the return of MLS and the return of the Premier League and the European leagues, I don't play a ton, but once a week I'll come out with a soccer play. So yeah, I'll keep you busy. So don't hesitate to grab some of those subscriptions. The what is it called again? The pitch to kickoff, or one of those kind of promotions. Get signed up until NFL starts.
Yeah, WT.buzz/JS. Pitch to kickoff, indeed. Opening weekend of college football is right around the corner, August 29th, and that package only $2.99, an incredible price, Jesse. It won't be there for long, and the sooner you buy, the better that deal is. So, Jesse, best of luck, brother. Keep cashing those tickets, and keep the comments coming for our man, Jesse. WT.buzz/JS. Great follow, as we said, on Twitter, at Jesse Schule. Always love when Jesse coming on. Jesse came with the thunder today, man. Good stuff out of
That's great. I'm taking draw in both games. Amazing.
Electric.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we do for the rest of the show. We're going to talk about the All-Star Game, if we can find any props whatsoever. We are going to do Dinger Tuesday. We're going to pick a dinger in that game, and then we're going to break down our wide receiver Tuesday prop of the week. It's $5 Tuesday. All handicappers can put some plays up. We're going to end up with we're going to end up with 3 $5 Tuesday plays this afternoon. A darts play is already up. That goes off on Saturday. We got a match play tournament, which is a really good tournament to bet on. We got some good stats and some good angles in that one, and it's a longer format, which really helps us out. We're going to have a $5 play up for the Open Championship right after the show. Myself, Dan, and Jan, and we're going to record that breakdown. Once that's posted, we'll put the $5 play up as well. And then we got a 4% best bet that is up in tomorrow's game for the World Cup, and that's $5. So a lot of good stuff going on. Our $5 play is actually going on right now in the WNBA on an 11:10 a.m. game on a Tuesday. WNBA always keeping us on our toes.
Why? I was wondering the same thing, because I was just like looking at my odds screen, and I was like, why do these odds keep moving so much? What's happening? And then I was like, there's just a WNBA game on in the middle of a day on a Tuesday. They're like, hey, you say there's no sports coming on. Here's the W in your face.
I mean,
it's actually not
real estate. It's not horrible. Like, nothing going on. Might as well like do a day game. So, we got a cricket play coming for tomorrow. All right, we're gonna end up with 4 plays tomorrow.
Why
so
not?
Yeah, we do have a lot of good specials. A 5% UFC best bet is up. So if you want to just lock in 3 days and you get 3 days added on for free, that gets you everything for today, the rest of the week, as well as Saturday's best bet. Okay. Dan, we did a really good job on the show yesterday for our just little tidbits picks. The over hit twice in the first batter on the feet. I was bummed, but we didn't play that one. And then our guy that we wanted to fade, he came through, hit under 9.5. So we had a pretty good read. The books just don't even give you that many playable props in this All-Star game. The guys aren't going to play the full game. There's really not much we can do. What are you doing with this game, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I see some comments coming in. Rex says this is as good as reason as any, right? He's had a feeling and a thought in his head that he wants to bet on the NL, the National League. Christopher Sanchez is going to be on the bump. Interesting note here in this one. You have Dylan Cease against Christopher Sanchez. So this is going to be the first Phillies pitcher since Roy Halladay to start the All-Star game. And then
Roy
with
Halladay.
Cease, yeah. So since that was
past
2011, and then the interesting tie, Dylan Cease also is tied to Roy Halladay as well, because I believe that as he's the first Blue Jay pitcher to start the All-Star game since Roy Halladay did it. So interesting that the two pitchers, when it's at Citizens Bank Park, interesting note there. I do got a dinger that we'll get into, Andy, but as far as this one's concerned, it's hard to dive in on props for this game simply because, like, even look at the Phillies. The Phillies have 6 different players in this game. 2 of them are going to be in the starting lineup. You got Kyle Schwarber and you got Brandon Marsh. Would one of those guys hit a homer? Maybe, but you're also going up against the best pitching that you're going to see in this competition. So typically I like going under in this All-Star game. However, like I said, Andy, I don't have much juice behind this one. This is All-Star games for me. I'm the curmudgeon. I did the exact same thing last weekend. The PLL had their All-Star game, and Ariel Epstein messaged me and she goes, "Okay, what are we betting on in this game?" I said, "It's an All-Star game. I just be the jerk and I bet unders because there's also defense in All-Star games. There's also really good pitching in these All-Star games. So I don't think it'll be the derby that it was last night, Andy." So as far as anything that I would actually bet, if we were getting 8.5, probably look towards that under. Sitting at 8, that's probably still the way that I lean. Yeah. Everybody wants to see an over, but these pitchers are really good in this competition.
He got his heart broken last night. It's probably just an emotional bet, but maybe they take pity on him. I'll take Kyle Schwarber to have a hit at plus 115.
Just a hit. It's plus 115?
Yeah, plus money on
That's
Schwarber,
a good bet.
So
that's a good bet.
Yeah, he'll get a few at bats, and maybe a pitcher is like, we'll serve up a softball for Kyle since he lost to an underdog.
Watching him lose that home run derby last night, while all he could do was just be forced to watch as greatness happened in front of him. It looked like, when you have a bet that's chalked and you're just sitting there watching it unfold and you're like, just put me out of my misery already, but they make you wait. Then it gets to overtime. It really felt like, when you have a losing ticket in your hand and you're just waiting to be able to tear it up, but the hope keeps you alive. It was, that was tough.
Well, maybe you might say the Philly fans were the second big winner last night. They just never change. Philly fans. Personality is great. All right.
Whether you love them, whether you hate them, Andy, they brought the thunder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They made that event even that much better. So, Andy, do you want to do our dingers now? Should we just throw out our
let's
dingers?
Do the dingers.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. It is Dinger Tuesday, an All-Star edition.
Boy, you thought Dinger Tuesday was hard. Now try and do it at an All-Star game. I'll go. Don't bet these. In all seriousness, don't bet these. These are novelty bets. We do it every Tuesday. It's
you don't
fun.
Even know how many at-bats these guys are going to get. Remember that.
Exactly. And remember, the point of this is to give away a 3-day pass. That's why we do Dinger Tuesday. So after the show, put in the comment section if you think somebody's going to hit a dinger, and you have to put your WagerTalk username. So if you think Jordan Alvarez is going to put Jordan Alvarez, so-and-so is my WagerTalk username. So after the show in the comment section, I'll take a sprinkle on Junior Caminero at plus 625, 28 home runs this year, 12 last night in the first round. That is all I got.
And he had an absolute piss missile as well. So yeah, the guy can rake. I'm kind of going the same line as you, Andy. I want to take a guy who was in the home run derby last night, and I want to take a guy who, for all intents and purposes, he's underwhelmed, right? He got eliminated in the first round. Ben Rice had a really poor showing. He is a much better player than was shown. I think he was pretty rattled by the boos that ended up coming down. He kind of, laughed it off afterwards, but you could tell he was uncomfortable by it. I think Ben Rice is a much better player. I, referenced our friend Ariel Epstein. This is actually the player that she chose to win. She is a Yankees fan, however. Didn't even come close. So I think similar to your thinking on Schwarber, maybe, feeling a little bit bad, and I think he himself, he'd like to get off the snide of how poor of a performance, worst of the night in the home run derby. He is a very talented player at around plus 700. Give me Ben Rice to be my dinger. And if you think someone's hitting a home run in the All-Star game tonight, comment below, WagerTalk username, include that. If they hit a dinger, we'll try and get you a free three-day flex pass.
All right. Well, play the $5 Tuesday drop. We forgot to play that at the beginning of the show.
How did we forget? I mean, we were just so jacked up to get to Jesse, but don't worry, folks. It is $5 Tuesday. Are you not entertained? They love it when I turn off the bass. Are you not entertained?
Yep, $5 Tuesday. Go to wagertalk.com, grab some $5 Tuesday plays. I'm guessing there's going to be quite a few of them that are kind of in the future since there's not going on today. For example, we have one Saturday in darts. We'll have one for the Open Championship. We have one in cricket tomorrow. By the way, nice cash yesterday on Jan's cricket play. Thank you to those who grabbed that cricket play. That was a good cash. Let's do our NFL prop of the day. So yesterday we went over Matthew Stafford on his passing touchdowns. The way we're going to do it Monday is a quarterback prop, Tuesday wide receiver prop, Wednesday running back prop, Thursday we're going to do season wins, and Friday we got viewer suggestions. So drop a comment. I saw somebody already asked about Myles Garrett sack props. That's a great one.
I like that
to throw in there. So we'll pick one that you guys want us to break down. So let's talk Rome Odunze here. 799.5 yards receiving here. Dan, come to you first. What do you make of Rome Odunze in this offense?
Yeah, so he was kind of marred by injury. He was certainly, on a trajectory to even go over this last year. I was a big Rome Odunze guy in fantasy, thought it was going to be his breakout year. And there were shades of that for sure. You saw what he ended up with, around 661, I think was his total last year. So now you're baking in, he has to be healthy to hit this over. I wanted to say that Odunze was going to be their number one target, but I think you saw that Caleb Williams is able to spread the rock around, and their offense has only gotten better. I just think there's a lot of mouths to feed, and I kind of have Caleb Williams dog-eared as a potential regression candidate simply because they were so over their expectation last season. Now they have a much tougher schedule. Now you also have a lot of film. How many times do we see this after a player bursts onto the scene after people spend an entire offseason prepping for that? I think that's what worries me a little bit on being bullish on overs with this entire offense. I still think they'll be very good. I still think they'll compete for the division. Don't get me wrong. However, going with a number that's higher than he's ever done, factoring in what needs to go right for him, and he needs to really cement himself as the number one to get over this hump and get over 800 receiving yards. For me, Andy, I'm going with the under 799.5 for Rome Odunze. What do you think?
Yeah, so I looked up this injury, and I think there's really cause for concern. Stress fracture in his foot after 12 games. He did come back for 2 playoff games, had 2 catches for 44 yards in each. I found this I found this paragraph from an article. The bone fracture from last year healed differently, resulting in calluses that shifted his foot structure. While he emphasizes that the foot is structurally sound and he is not in constant pain, he is learning to manage the lingering anatomical changes as he prepares for his third year in the league. So he's not, it's not painful, but his foot feels different. And that's enough to lose quarter of a step, half a step. 2024, he played all 17 games, only had 734 yards. I will say the depth chart is a little thin at wide receiver. It's Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Khalif Raymond. However, Colston Loveland came on strong. You got to believe he's going to be a big target. Add to that with this Ben Johnson offense, there's going to be a lot of running and there's going to be a lot of spreading the ball around. You look at Loveland was the leading receiver for the Bears with 713. DJ Moore, 682. Odunze, 661. Burden, 652. Cole Kmet, 347. You just see a lot of guys with a decent amount of numbers, not that superstar. If he plays 17 games, he can probably go over, but I just have too many questions. I'm with you 100%. Not only if he's the number one receiver, that means he's also going to get the number one coverage. The emergence of Loveland, you got DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, who really showed that they can handle running the ball and catching. Luther Burden coming on a little bit strong. I just don't think one wide receiver goes crazy in this offense. It's spread out. You add in maybe there's a little bit of an injury risk, but even if he plays 17 games, I think this is too close. Under's the only way that I could go in this one. So you and I are definitely in agreement on this one.
Yeah, I think it just there's too many things that could go wrong. And I think this is something that you taught me when you're looking at these season-long props is the best case scenario is already factored in, right? The same thing that we think about when we're looking at over and under season win totals is like this is market expectation, but also factoring in he's playing 17 games, and I just don't know if we see that. And even if he does play 17 games, this offense will have to look different. And especially with Ben Johnson, you never know what week to week. He's a very great tactician. Sometimes they're going to be run heavy. Sometimes they're going to be pass heavy. You're asking a guy who hasn't done it in his career to get over 800. If this number was 700, Andy, we're having a much different conversation. You're asking, it's just a little rich for me.
Yep. Agreed. And yeah, that's the thing when we're breaking down these season player props. Dan said it. They are counting on playing all 17 games. There's a couple that are low. Someone brought up Mendoza and his total. That's one that they're not expecting them to play all, so that's a crapshoot. But yeah, if you can find these spots, I love betting unders on injury-prone guys because they're giving you a number that they think they're going to play 17 games. And one injury, one tweaked hamstring, one twisted ankle, and they're out 4 to 6 weeks. That's almost a guaranteed cash. So. All right, good stuff. We're on the same page on that one. Tomorrow we'll break down Javonte Williams over under 9.5 rushing touchdowns. So leave us a comment if you want us to break down any futures. It could be anything, defensive, offensive, win totals, doesn't matter. Friday is going to be a viewer suggestion day of the week. So, all right, abbreviated show, but if we're going to be breaking down the Open Championship here in about 20 minutes. That'll be up later this afternoon. Get you ready for the last major of the year. Very bettable course. They're playing link style course. This course is dry. It's fast. So it's predictable. And this is in Jan's neck of the woods. So he's very, very excited. So we'll have some really, really good information on that one. Hit the like button. Make sure you drop a comment for Dinger Tuesday. We'll try and give away a 3-day pass, but you got to leave your username in the comment section so we can give it away. We can't track you down. We don't know who you are unless you leave the WagerTalk username. So let's do it again tomorrow. Good luck on all your bets. Let's have a big $5 Tuesday. We'll see everyone on Wednesday. Take care.